Bucket list items from our Mid-Michigan panel. Scott Danik and Jim Trebilcock are here. George Volman, Volman Ford, Craig Godfrey, Godfrey Weisberg, CPAs and advisors. And we already heard Scott Farragon from Cartridge World say that he wants to parachute and he wouldn't even be frightened by it. I'm going to run with the Bulls next year. I think they're doing it today in Spain, and that's my bucket list item, although I have a couple of others, I can assure you. So, shh, don't say it out loud. Secret. Craig Godfrey, your bucket list item.
Oh, I'd be more on the travel side of things.
Yeah.
Australia sounds good to me.
Very good.
Alaska at some point, maybe a cruise that goes up around, Alaska area in the wintertime. No, the summertime.
Yeah. Australia, I used to be snobby about Australia and say, why do I want to go all that way? It doesn't seem like it would be that different from the States, but it's well worth the trip.
Is it?
Well worth the trip. You'll have a lot of fun.
Were you all
there.
around?
Yeah, I went to Adelaide and Melbourne and Sydney.
Yeah.
And all three of them were unique. All three of them were an awful lot of fun. You will come back from Australia saying, I can't wait to go back to Australia.
Is that right?
So take your time when you're there because it's a long way to go.
Yeah.
You're like a rock star with that American accent. You don't think you have an accent.
So you get there.
Believe me, it unlocks a lot of doors, that accent that you don't think you have.
Was it a 12-hour flight, something like that?
No, it's more than that.
More?
Yeah.
18?
That's quite a ways.
Yeah,
Usually you have to stop somewhere, too, because we don't have too many
Hawaii or
nonstop.
something.
Well, that'd be a good way to
That'd be
decompress
all
on your
right.
way home.
That's
I like
right.
the way he thinks, don't you? How about you, George Volman?
Well, this is going to be kind of a weird
Yeah?
bucket item, but I have this hankering to have a restored 1975 or 76 Cadillac Eldorado convertible in my showroom.
Oh.
And I mean, that sounds a little weird, but, because I used to build them back in the day when I was very young, I think I'd have to go to Arizona to get this vehicle. And then I already have the body shop picked out to restore it. And I would probably help with the restoration, but not too much because I remember building them on the assembly line. But I would love nothing more to be able to take a car out like that, like on Sunday or whatever, and just drive it.
I think I got a couple of leads for you. Jim Eppolito, he was the head of the MEDC, and he was in Delta Dental. He's got two of those, I think, because he brings one out to Spartan Tailgates. It's emerald green, and he opens up the trunk, and you could have a small city inside the trunk of that thing.
Yeah.
And
that's with a full-size spare.
And I always tease him about it, and I say, can you park it in front of the studio here once in a while and bring it down with a convertible down and all that? And the other day, Friday, I was at Country Club of Lansing with Pete Kramer and Pat Gillespie, and in rolls Jim Eppolito in a big blue, baby blue Eldorado convertible.
Ooh, that's the color.
And I said, wait a minute, I thought he had a green one. And he does have a green one. And he's got a baby blue one, too. And he said he drives the baby blue one in the summer. I thought, wow, that's terrific. So you could get Jim Eppolito to pull it over there.
And the thing is the fun is being able to get the history of the car and knowing who owned it and all that stuff. And then also doing the restoration, knowing that, at some point in time I may have built that automobile or parts of it.
Oh,
that
that's
was
neat.
really kind of the tie to it. And it's really funny, like the Oldsmobile we had out front here this morning. Beautiful automobile, but that wouldn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It just, it's a beautiful car, but I gotta have the tie back to history. It's kind of like having an antique rocker because your great grandmother had her wedding photo in it. That holds something special. But an antique rocker that's that old that has no history to it, to me, just doesn't do it for me. So
there's a golf club also up, if you go up 127 to, what is that road, 115, where 115 crosses 31, called Eldorado Golf Club. And in the clubhouse, in front of big glass windows, is an Eldorado Cadillac.
No, I did not know that.
Just for fun. If you're ever driving around there, you'll see it. You can see it from the freeway. It's quite a sight. All right, Batman and Robin. Jim Trebilcock and Scott Danik, in that order, please.
Well, my bucket list is really kind of short. I got some of it that Scott was interested in. When I was in the Army, I wanted to go to airborne school, and they wouldn't send me, so I was wanting to jump.
Yeah.
So I did that a number of years ago. I went out to Hastings and signed up.
You did?
Yeah, I did 5 jumps.
All in a 5? Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
you learn in a single day. You learn and go up that very same day?
Yep, they put you through a fairly extensive ground school, and then you go and make one jump, and you can jump more if you want to.
You must have liked it if you did it 5 times.
I just wanted to do it. Really, my original goal was to get to skydive. You have to do 5 tethered jumps or static line jumps before you can actually free fall.
Is that when you're with somebody?
No, they put you in the airplane and hook you up, and
So you don't pull your own chute.
The
There.
tether line jump is it pulls
yeah,
the chute
you're
for you.
tethered to
Got
the
it.
airplane, and so the chute automatically opens, hopefully, for you.
So you don't fall too far before the
No, you
chute
probably
opens.
fall 40 feet.
And if, in a free fall, you can skydive much farther.
The first free fall, they take you to, I think, if memory serves me correctly, I think they take you to 4,000 feet.
So
And
you can
jump
fall a
from
good,
4.
1 or 2,000 before you pull the chute?
I don't know.
You never
I
did
never
that?
did that. No, I got to you had to do 5 tethers, as I say, or static.
Was it
range.
scarier than you thought? Nah, you're not going to admit that. You're a
The
tough
thing
guy.
that really scared me the most, I think, was when they opened the door. I was sitting there right in the door, and they opened it, and my stomach went, no, don't do this.
Naturally.
And but what you do is they have a strut on the airplane, it's a Cessna, and so you kind of work your way out, and you're just hanging by the strut, and then they just tell you to release, and you just release, and that's it. And it's incredibly quiet as you're floating down.
Usually is right.
I didn't find it particularly thrilling, to tell you the truth.
You didn't?
No. Now, I'm sure that skydiving, when you start to free fall, probably gets real exciting. But
So the anticipation was more for you than the actual
yeah,
jump.
and the first step's kind of a bear, but other
Yeah.
than that, you just float down. And the chutes are designed so that the first landing that I did was just about like stepping off a curb. It was that
Wow.
soft.
Yeah.
So you can really maneuver those chutes. So I got to do it, and I just decided I got too many other expensive hobbies, so I didn't want to, because you have to do it. I mean, you have to work your way up to get to 10,000 feet or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided not to do that, but you do have to commit some time and money to it. It's not inexpensive to do that. I got to rappel when I was in the Army. That is fun.
That was fun, too?
Yeah, that's really a ball. And then my other bucket list stuff, I guess, is I'd like to go and play Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go to Australia and New Zealand, and I was fortunate enough to buy a plane a few years ago, so I want to fly that to Alaska if I can.
All right. So are you a pilot? I didn't know
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that. Huh. Congratulations.
Yeah, I got my license in 1971.
And you bought a plane?
Yeah.
All right. Now, it's good to have
That
a
was a
friend with an
bucket list
airplane.
item
I
as
didn't
well.
know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And Scott Danek.
Before I get to the bucket list, we might want to picture maybe Starsky and Hutch or
Yeah?
Hall and Oates
Oh,
or
okay.
Robin's not
the
working.
Duke Brothers. I mean, come on, we got to get off
How
this
about-
Batman and Robin theme. So just let's work on that the
How
rest
about
of the show.
Abbott and Costello?
Hey, I'd take that.
Laurel and Hardy?
Maybe.
Batman's scaring him.
As far as the bucket list, I'll throw 2 out there. One is fairly self-centered, and one has more to do with the family. I've always wanted to go to the basically the furthest reaches of northern Canada, almost to the Arctic Circle, with my dad, and go fly-in trophy pike fishing. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to twist his arm to get him to do that.
Yeah.
He'd rather go south and fish in the tropics for saltwater fish. So if I lose that argument, I guess I win. So we'll see. But the kids keep talking to us about they want to get to Hawaii. We were fortunate enough to win a trip to Hawaii a couple years ago.
All right.
So Jill and I have been there. So we've got our 20th anniversary coming up here in a few years. So we may have to start putting some nickels aside to do that, because eventually the kids will be too old to go with us,
Yeah.
and they really want to get there. So we may have to add Maui and the Big Island to the list.
Well, these are all very attainable things. In fact, Amanda Wall's on her way to Maui, her honeymoon. So you're celebrating your 20th anniversary. She's going on her honeymoon next month to Maui.
That just means I'm really old.
Well, hopefully I will be celebrating 20 years of marriage someday. That's what we're going for. But right now it's like 265 days. So, you know.
Approximately. I will tell you, if you get a chance, go to Front Street. And at the end of Front Street, right before the big tree with all the art, there is the best ice cream you will ever have.
Where is that?
It's on Front Street in Maui.
Maui.
And make sure it's the guy's got a little top hat, sort of fedora or whatever it is, and that's the emblem of the shop. And it's their local. It's got macadamia nuts and coffee and vanilla base. It is really good.
Okay. Now,
well, that's
everyone,
my
we're going to have to go straight to the MSU dairy store as soon as this episode is over. Now.